Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Between the Shores. This is where we at Summerside Community Church pause on the Monday after we got through Sunday to recognize what is the Lord speaking between the Sundays.
Yep.
And we recognize between the Sundays is not a long time.
No.
And so even like where we are here in Summerside, it's not a big
Yeah.
space between the two shores.
Yep.
And so we hope that as you listen to these Between the Shore podcast, that you are catching the thread of what God is speaking and how you can apply that into your week. And so, Joel, this week you're in Colossians 4. So we're in the series on Colossians, and the theme is Jesus is greater than everything. And I have to say, Joel, I'm loving this series. It's so relevant for right now and what we're facing as kingdom followers in the world and all that's going on around us. And Scripture is living and breathing. It speaks for the now. It's a book that, it's often said it's an ancient book, but it's a now book for so many things. So you spoke on Jesus is greater than godly wisdom. And so there's some really cool things that you brought out that through this past week, the Lord was kind of showing you, and that whole concept of fate and how the world looks at basically how to control and manipulate us as a population, but how God has the exact opposite, and it fits so perfectly what you were sharing. So maybe just give us a bit of a summary of just kind of what stood out when you were kind of digging in yourself.
Yeah, when I started working on this message, I always like to just take the scripture and read it and see what comes out.
So
and right away I thought, be alert, pay attention to prayer and thankfulness. And I thought, okay, alert. And so that was kind of, that stuck out, in prayer stuck out. And then I started putting that aside, and I started, the outline and trying to break things down into, okay, what are the main themes and all this stuff. And so I had all of that, couple pages of that written down in supporting scriptures that would go along with it. And then
the outline was forming.
But then during the week, my wife was watching this podcast about this guy on, anyways, another podcast. And he's talking about how social media manipulates and how what's going on in the news and a lot of the stuff what the government promotes and everything like this, how they use this to promote their agendas on different things. And he starts talking about this idea of fate, what's the focus, what is the authority that they add, the tribal components and emotion, and how they use this, especially in, he works with lawyers in a court case.
You shared that,
yes. And as he's talking about this, I'm like, oh, that's really true. Yeah, that really, it does grab our attention. And I'm like,
you can see,
and I'm like, this is really interesting. And I thought that would be a good thing to bring up, because that is kind of the way the world works. And then as I looked at that, I'm like, oh my goodness.
Wait a minute.
That's exactly what every single one of these verses we're looking at says, but in the opposite sense. But it was not I had no intention of going like that.
Not exactly.
But it was exactly what it was drawing out.
It became so clear.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the authority of Scripture and how, Paul clearly states, look, it's not about being tribal. We're part of one family. And then then that final verse, and I just wanted to read this again. Let your conversation always be full of grace, seasoned with salt. You'll know how to answer everybody. I mean, there's so much emotion in how beautiful it says that our speech should be.
It's interesting. So I was away on the elders retreat this weekend. So thank you, Joel, for just digging into this the way you did. And I had a chance to listen to your message last night. And when you had shared that verse and how it says you will know how to answer everyone, and then you commented how, if we follow how that speaks it and respond that way on social media, we wouldn't have the draw to social media that we have. And I laughed out loud when he said that, because I was like, it's so true. But we can know how to answer people. We don't have to get anxious or rely on our wisdom, our reaction. It's outlined for us right there. And I loved how fate, and it's interesting. It's stuck in my mind. It's like something that I'm like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
With the way, when you went through it, it makes sense. That's how worldly wisdom goes. And it's not just new to today. They have acronyms for it. This has been going on.
Oh, yeah.
Like for...
Like even this guy describes it. It's like, this is how cave people operate. You know, in the sense of this is the lowest level of human responding. And so that's what they're trying to draw into. They're not trying to make you think.
That's right.
They're just trying to make you react to, oh, pay attention, you know.
Yeah.
And,
squirrel.
oh, look, no, that's authority. That, you know,
so it must be good.
You're the king, you know,
Yeah.
or, you know, and that whole aspect of,
Yes.
oh, I've got to get in line. I've got to be a part of this.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm not going to be part of the tribe.
Yeah. And I also was talking with somebody after church about this. It is the exact method that police use in interrogating somebody. You know, when they say, hey man, it happens to everybody, and just, you know, at least it wasn't this.
Right.
You know, and they just try to, when you're over and, hey, good thing this happened. We caught this before this could have happened. And you know, try to lull them into this identifying with them and saying,
and trusting them.
Yeah, and trusting, and you want to, everybody in the community sees this kind of stuff, and and make them feel really good about it, and then when they confess, okay, you're done.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works with the confession. And there's a purpose in that point for it. But when it's exposed to the whole population, it's like, wait a minute. And so the fact that Scripture has the exact opposite was like, well, for me, there's so much hope.
Yeah.
Because of Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and that whole thing of being focused in prayer means paying attention to what God's doing, and then all of a sudden, the little things that are getting our attention here and there are not getting our attention. And when we are thankful, then all the other stuff, the authority of Scripture, all of a sudden we're not reading it as in being found out.
That's right.
But being free.
Being free. Which that's its purpose.
Yeah. Yes. And the joy and the hope and the peace that can bring, and really what Paul's trying to call them into. You know, like, because the Colossians, it's not a big area. I mean, like, they weren't like super important.
That's right.
But yet this was so meaningful. Yes. Yeah. And he never even went there.
That's right. That's right. It was somebody else, right, that had come and was saying, here's what they're going through. And they obviously, I mean, it impacted Paul so much, what he heard, that he felt compelled to write this letter. Yeah. And now today it's impacting, I mean, generations of people because of what he felt compelled to write. Yeah. And so, Joel, at the end of your message, you compelled us or challenged us as a church to remove media for 20 days. So social media, anything that we might get into a feed for, or feed to follow. Yep. And the purpose behind that is space. Yeah. And so like wisdom, godly wisdom, in order to hear the Lord and to even have Scripture be something that we find peace in, instead of it being something that is like interrogating us, that we might, you know, read it that way. In order to have space to do those things, there has to be space. Yeah. So removing media is one of those things. And so maybe expand like where this came from for you.
Well, just as, you know, as you were asking a question earlier before we started the podcast, I was thinking about, I can't think of where the verse is, but it says, I think it's the Spirit gives us power to say no to ungodly things. I can't think where that verse exactly is. Yeah. It's something along that line. I'm probably misquoting it, but it's when we don't have space, there's things that just take up all of our imagination, all of our time, all of our energy, our emotions. And the algorithms of most media is written to keep your attention, to keep...
They want you on as long as possible.
Yeah, the dopamines, you know, the things that draw your attention. And they find the stuff that you do watch, like it's microseconds. And give you more of the stuff you stay on longer, and the stuff you just scroll past. That didn't grab them. So
we gotta change that.
Yeah, and so it's so geared that way that you can get caught in that, and it's amazing what it.
The scroll, it just and then you're like, where did the hour go?
Yeah, and it's amazing how it feeds on that, and so to turn that off is to say no, and it's not to attack it and go after those things saying, you're bad.
Yeah,
No, this is doing exactly what it's wired and built to do.
That's right. Yeah.
And you're responding like
just like you're
the
wired.
sheep that we are.
That's right. We are sheep.
And so this is just saying, take control of that and say no.
You can say no.
Yeah.
Like to give you the
yeah.
to give it's to invite you to say no. Right?
Yeah. And so that and really it was my own conviction that I needed to say no to. I mean, like, there is definitely things that I'm interested in that I can get all excited about.
Yes,
that can
pulls your energy.
Yeah, and I love to debate it and wrestle with it, and Colby and I have wonderful debates.
Lots of chats in here.
and it's fun.
Yes,
you know, and it can be anything from sports to science to what's going on in the news in the world, in church stuff, and there's a lot of things that can interest us that we can get consumed with that are not the things where God's saying, listen to this.
Yeah.
And it's hard to listen to something when all you're doing is talking.
Yes. Well, it's interesting. One of the things that, like this weekend, the elders, the focus was godly discernment, like discernment. And discernment is not decision making. And God calls us to discern as leaders in the church, leading as he's the head. But we're to discern because if he's the head, we need to be following him. And so discernment, in order to effectively discern, which you need godly wisdom to do, you have to be indifferent. So you have to lay down your agendas, the things that you would prefer to see, even your gifts and talents, to lay those down and say, God, I want what's best for your church. And so we have to be indifferent to those things. And so I was thinking about this morning about how we in the world, because it takes up so much of our energy and consumes so much of our time, and we end up debating these things, and so then we are indifferent to Christ, and we have become very open to everything else. And so to have like godly indifference is to say no to all the world stuff, so we have space to hear his voice and recognize his movements and what he's actually doing, which is the godly wisdom part. And so to have indifference, we have to turn off some of the noise. So during my sabbatical, I turned it off. No social media, no, all the apps basically like didn't turn any of them on. And wow, like there was a lot more space and a lot less voices demanding my attention. So then I could hear him way clearer than before. And so coming back off sabbatical, I have very rarely went back on because it's like, I don't need this.
Yeah. And there can be even like church voices.
Oh yeah. It's not just social media.
And but I mean, even in social media, there can be just
good stuff.
Yeah. Good stuff. But it's just church voices where God's saying, yep, that's good, but I'd like you to listen to me, you know? And I think that's what was really being challenged for me is even not just, don't consume more of just something else. Just seek what do you think I want you to hear or not hear? You know, can you just enjoy letting me reset and just be quiet or hearing or paying attention to something else?
You know, it's interesting. On my sabbatical, I thought I'll have time to read books because I have not had a lot of time for reading books. And the first week or so, the Lord did make it clear. I had a sense like no social media, but like no other voices than his voice. So there was no reading books. And so now that I've come back off of it, I'm slow. Like when it comes to a book, I'll ask the Lord, am I supposed to read this? Or even a podcast? Is this going to be good for me to hear? Is this a voice that you would recommend? So I'm even taking time to recognize what should I be listening to? Like, what are you, again, it's discerning, like, Lord, what would you say is a good thing? Because there's so much. You guys know there's so many books, there's so many podcasts. Like, we can never, ever, like, hear them all. And sometimes it's just noise. And so it's like, Lord, what do you want to say?
And in all of that, just, you know, it really kept drawing my attention to what am I thankful for?
Oh, I like that.
Yes. And, you know, I love that verse, the having a thankful heart in that reflection in anything that I could find to be thankful for. God was in it.
Oh, okay.
You know, I mean, if I saw something beautiful in nature,
yeah,
that was God.
Right.
If I saw something in my family,
yeah.
that was God.
Yes.
If there's anything to be thankful for, I'm like, that was from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then it's putting your focus back on Him. It's thankfulness. Because He gives us good gifts, right? All the time. And so we have so much to be thankful for. And when we have space to recognize those things, because we're not consumed by everything else, then we can see more clearly. So godly wisdom, thankfulness, prayer, and deleting the app so that you have space to experience the. He's got good things for us. Yeah, He has good things to say to us. And when I'm consumed and there's so many things coming at me, I can't hear those good things. I miss out on those good things, but He wants me to have those. So these are ways that He is helping us understand that He's got more for us. And I wouldn't be surprised, Joel, like you said, you felt the Lord already convicting you to start to let go of these things. I wouldn't be surprised if there's others who the Lord's been speaking to, and you kind of sense, I probably should delete this, and I can probably try to find a way to not be on here as much. And so I just want to encourage you, if you've been hearing that, here's the time. Like, we're doing this as as a family, and here's a time to step in and try and see, like, what space opens up. And don't fill it with something else. But what space opens up so that you can hear Him more clearly. Yeah, and let Him redeem that and turn it into maybe even something better. Like maybe when you go back on social media, if you do, it'll be totally different. Or in this, God will move you into something else. And and then you're open to experience that. Yeah, which He is in, and there is life in that, and because truthfully, we do need people in social media who are doing it in a way that is honoring God. Yes, absolutely. And you can. But I think a lot of us are just caught in the other traps that pull us in, right? So yeah, because I don't post on social media. No, I haven't, and I haven't for years. Yeah. But man, do I ever get caught up in just sitting there scrolling when I'm bored, like waiting at the store. Can go by. Or I could be be praying or being thankful or paying attention to somebody else. Yeah, absolutely. So we bless you to step into spaces to hear His godly wisdom more, whatever that looks like for your journey with Him, whatever He might be kind of tapping you to do. And if that's social media, give it a try, and just see the space that's opened up for you. So bless you as you navigate this week. Next week, Joel, you are finishing the book of Colossians. Yeah. And it's on Jesus is greater than recognition. Yeah. Talking about being faithful. Yes. Yep. And it's hard in this culture, and recognition is everywhere, and we want that, gold star that we've done something well. But He's got more for us than that. Yeah, especially when your name's not recognizable, like Tick-a-Tick. Yes. Yeah. It's true. So more on that name on Sunday. Yeah. All right. Okay. Bye, everyone. Have a great week.